I mean, it makes more sense, right? Florin, let's say Florin, Rome, Bavaria mid, Paquito in the XP lane, you got Ballman in the jungle, and then of course the Beatrix in the gold, right? Like, that's kind of what I'm expecting, but still we'll see. When we see everything is situated for both of these team compositions, jumping into the Land of Dawn, game number 1 here already. A hook being landed, and this is the, I feel like step number 1, right? For the most part for UAE.
Yeah.
You gotta watch out for these hooks. They're gonna be happening all day, all game. And sometimes if you can, if that's putting Travis in the front and taking those hooks, then that might be the best case scenario because, yeah, you have to rely on literally your tankiest guy, which is this Ballman, and then the sustain, right? That is kind of what you have here. Whereas on the flip side, Philippines has quite a few tanky heroes, right? They got the Fredrin, they got the Franco, they've got Glue as well.
Yeah, speaking of which, now by just having the vision from where is Travis coming from,
you're not expecting, at least with this lineup, for any early kills, right? There might be some poking back and forth. Nice flicker,
that's
though.
the flicker and the hook combo forced out a resource from this Novaria. Drago might want to get his hands back on this flicker if, again, he might get taken down or being chased down by Philippines. Meanwhile, up top, we have Buez on level 3. Ricotiano, on the other hand, is level 2. So sustaining more of this laning stage, I think they're trying to disturb more of the gold lane of Philippines right now.
Well, right now, no one going down this early on is a great start, at least for UAE. Keep things in mind, right? For the most part, they have to be able to farm up. That's going to be really reliant on Buez, especially with the Beatrix. Novaria needs time to scale up really well here. And if anyone, Jed will be a source of that early damage potential, right? The burst potential from Paquito early on is a threat. So all this leading into that first turtle of the game, UAE getting in position, might be looking for their own kind of advantage in terms of not so much a kill, right? But if they can whittle down the Philippines a little bit, but it looks like they won't even be able to find a moment here just yet.
Petrify now has been used. Ocean Audience will knock up onto Travis. Will the burst be enough? That's the rough waves connecting to Team UAE. Archangel secures the kill. Cannon as well. Takes 2 points out of UAE. Now Unigo is eyeing on one. Suppressed one member. Used a bloody hunt. Right onto Drago, forcing him back to the turret. As 7M Dan tries to poke in for reinforcement. Meanwhile, Saison has eyes on this purple, stealing another objective out from the jungle of UAE.
This is what I was talking about. Like, the Philippines is one of those teams, just like even Indonesia, where they just, their routine in the early game is almost mirrored every single time, right? They're able to just kind of poke things down, whittle their enemy teams down the best they can. Nice little dodge there. But the same thing, right? When it comes to that first objective, the turtle take, they usually know that dance so well. We like to call it that turtle dance, that lord dance, because that's what it ends up being. And usually they're looking for a bait, right? They're trying to get the other team to engage, and they know their positioning is crucial. So at this point too, even with that whole thing unfolding OSX, the fact that you get that early kill already on Archangel here, it's tough to deal with, because Kadita, the more kills you get, the more burst.
Speaking of which, that is the rough waves connecting. Blazing Duet. Ricotiano is trying to pierce through the damage, but still sustaining that team fight, or the poke rather, from the Claude, still pushing through. Forced a flicker out of 7M Dam though. Saison, on the other hand, is eyeing on the top lane turret. Meanwhile, the EXP of Saison is up by 2 levels ahead against Travis.
Okay. Gold lead already starting to favor the Philippines here. You can see that, right? The turtle timer 20 seconds away. Positioning already crucial, and they're going to be doing that. This time around, though, if they can find this hook in any part of the map, they're going to go for that. They're looking for the numbers advantage. And it's just time and time again here, OSX, they're taking the purple buff away from UAE.
I gotta hand it over to Cannon and even just Saison just being present. Look at the control over the camp of UAE. Having that great amount of vision as well as coverage, and having a right beeline on where is the objective coming from. That's one way of securing recon for your team, that you can actually have an advantage. Where you're talking about numbers, you're talking about burst advantage. Now Philippines freely securing this turtle once again by Saison.
And at this point, UAE furthering this gold deficit they got to work with, right? And sometimes this is a strategy in itself, right? When you know that the early game is not going to go in your favor, you might as well give up some of these early objectives. Just farm up. Just get as much golden experience as you can. Bloom, though, hold on. Travis going to go down here. Even with the Bloom, the sustain, not enough already.
Yeah, speaking of sustain, the burst right now coming from Arcangel is just completely, slowly being devastating for the side of UAE. Meanwhile, Jed onto the sacks of true damage. She's just being poked by Cannon over and over again. Meanwhile, up top here, Unigo as well as Riccatiano trying to chase down the floor, and 7M Dan is down. Saison takes the kill, and meanwhile, up top, Buez is left alone, and 3 members of Philippines are present.
And right now, just like I'm saying, you know, the lead continues to build, and you're looking for any moment that UAE can save this.
Oh, and that is just Saison securing the kill. 3 members from Team Philippines who are present on off-cam kills were added to the list. Arcangel takes another one. 6 points in for Philippines.
There's just too much action across the map is basically what's happening, right? Left and right, top and bottom lanes, kills happening here, juggling turret aggro and everything else, and it's just, they're not stopping here.
Yeah, he is not stopping. Taunt on Travis. Saison is just by himself. 7 Dam, look at that, stickers showing through from Team Philippines. Meanwhile, up top, Wes trying to get on for the advantage. You were talking about how will this window for UAE could be beneficial. Either they sacrifice something out, because as we can see, we're looking at Travis trying to take on possible leftovers of the objective right in the map from Philippines.
They're trying to hold on to anything they can, right? Another turtle's going to spawn here. Look at the positioning, though, for UAE. They could turn this thing into something beneficial for them, right? Travis securing that orange buff. Jed has information here that they need, but even if they commit to this, do they have enough to turn it around? They're going to go for it.
Oh, Jed is right in the middle of 2 from Team Philippines. Jed as well is now using the dash to have a safe passage back in his team now. Rough waves connecting on to Travis. Riccatiano secures the kill. Philippines another one for this game. 7-0. The goal lead right now rising onto 4K.
So as we take a look at the replay here, you're seeing the struggles of Balmond and why he's kind of, you know, struggled in the current meta. You slide in there, you've got the spin to win, but then after that, it's pretty much over, you know, and especially with all the CC being laid upon you, it's tough to deal with. I mean, even having lethal counter isn't enough to really deal with these kind of the pressure that's being put on, right? Not only that, but the fact is, I don't know at this point how many buffs have been stolen, right? So you're getting further and further away. You're 2 levels behind Saison here on the Fredrin. And so at this point, and what we saw before, even when the Boxer was having a hard time in the previous series, you have to find a way to give value to the team. This is tough.
Wow, with a follow-up with a blazing duet onto Riccatiano, piercing through the health with HP bar of 7M Dan. Now Jed is forced to attack, but the damage of Buez is not enough. Arcangel is on a killing spree, evading by just going in, diving on deep with that rough waves and a breath of the ocean, just completely giving him an avenue to burst down one member after the other for UAE.
At this point, again, it's just getting more and more difficult for UAE to find something in this game 1. You know, and we talk about the snowballing effect a lot, and how there is always moments where teams can actually find ways to turn things around. But if you're looking at this all across the board, everybody is struggling for UAE. Usually in those situations, you know, you have one lane or maybe at least 1 or 2 of those members who at least have been able to farm up relatively well. But this way, the gold gap now at about 7,000 gold, and it's spread pretty evenly. I mean, this is just a Malefic Roar being picked up for Buez here at the 9-minute mark. And so it's getting increasingly difficult. Look, they're looking for a play here. Travis trying to help out.
Will the ambush be the answer for Team Philippines? Travis surviving through that lethal counter, but Arcangel is just on a spree, taking one member after the other. Now, Unigo sustaining that damage. Now, Saison completely secures the Lord. Diversion all over the map and kills translating into success, heading towards the mid-game.
Now the Lord's been secured. All the turtles across the board. This defense will be tough, just out of the fact that they're outscaled. I mean, at this point, right, it's getting even worse at the 10-minute mark. So even if you try to defend this first Lord push, you know, really, what can you do? Your saving grace is once again hoping that Buez has some damage. He only has a couple of these items here. Just picking up the Malefic Aura recently, and look at this, they're just gonna go for it.
Yeah, speaking of pick up, now he's being taunted. Travis now trying to fall back in the defense of his own turret. Now there's Lord up top trying to break down defenses more from UAE. Now, probably what they can do right now is make this Novaria work from 10 minutes. Will this be even enough though? There's no deaths yet from Philippines right now, and it's completely destroying one turret. Again, 10-0.
Not just 10-0, but almost 10,000 gold lead ahead now. You can see it. Saison full confidence going in.
Look at the taunt forced out, a flicker out from UAE. Still surviving that setup now. Revealing all of the location now from Philippines where they're going through now. They probably just can't even go out of the base right now. Just completely taking down turrets. One and completely continuing their march through the defense of UAE.
This is getting even tougher for Travis, right? We saw, it was nice to see the Ballman be picked in here, but you see how fast it gets shut down too. Now 3 levels behind. I think really OSX, the only thing you can do is exactly what Jed is trying to do. Push a side lane, put some pressure somewhere, but the risk there is obviously getting cut off, getting locked down, especially that you have a Franco across from you. Bloody Hunt is just the perfect combination to stop someone from doing this. And you can even see, right, Buez is trying to make his way as well, trying to put anything they can on the map for the most part, right? Travis finally able to get a buff, even if it's on the other side. Look at this though, look at the placement from Philippines. So, I would say, given how that all unfolded, yes, they're still behind 10K. UAE though, that's all they can do, man. It's a scrappy life for them. They have to find just whatever they can to get themselves back into this game in some form or another. What is that going to be? Well, it's probably going to be in the hands of Buez and Drago as the game goes on. If they can get to, let's say, we get to the 20-minute mark. They buy another 9 minutes. They farm up what they can despite this gold deficit. They hold on to their base. They might be able to turn something around. But the biggest obstacle in front of them obviously is the fact that then you start getting into immortality territory. That was just a wind of nature being picked up.
Locked in.
By Recreano, he's already locked in. Almost 11,000 gold on this plot alone. He's massive in the gold department. And it's showing. And that is something that UAE is really, it's just one out of many things they have to deal with.
Even on the defense items, I only see one from Jed, and this is way of like building through the Athena shield up against the damage right now. Philippines need to answer more of that. You have attack damage, you have burst damage coming from Archangel's Kadita. So how would you even fathom to have that defense? So there's just only one that's coming from Paquito. Yes, they have a way to regenerating back themselves once the team fight is initiated, but that is just from the mercy of the blue. And Saison just by himself, activating his own shield, lethal counter won't be enough. Taunting Travis to just pull and be onto him, but evading that ultimate from Beatrix, a big way of depleting out resources from UAE. Meanwhile, up top, 2 members just pushing through. On a macro scale, this is just Philippines doing their own way. They just completely have great coverage on the map.
You can see what they're doing. They're going with the split formation here. Lord getting ahead and charge in the top side. Gets that damage in, there's the flicker.
That's the flicker, that's a Bloody Hunt connected on to Buez. He is the casualty of UAE now on Recreano having the mega kill. For Philippines, Travis being trapped with the grab, and the split, that's a triple. Right onto the marksman of the Philippines, another hook with a follow from Jed. Now there's no way that they can defend that initiation from a Philippines now just taking down defenses. Again, one after the other. Draco being caught again with a grab, and Jed as well trying to send a team fight, but no, Philippines is just marching right into the tower of UAE and taking the first point with a 15-0 for this match.
That was rough for UAE there. 15-0 and a massive gold lead. I think it was 12,000 or something at that point. There is a clear disparity between at least this game, these two teams, right? And honestly, going back to Riyadh, something that we saw there too was just the difference. Now,